I think he would ask for guidance. That's what he would ask for his advice on how to lead and for guidance in general.
It was evil what they did to us. It was pure evil what they did to us. It's evil what he does to others because it was done to him. If we don't learn from our mistakes, we'll repeat them.
It is an art.
Choosing gladiators. They're usually prisoners of war.
I claim this city for the glory of Rome.
Paul, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. What do you think is the legacy of Gladiator? Do you remember watching the first movie?
Yeah, I think the legacy speaks for itself. The legacy is indicative of the fact that we're making a second one. The legacy is that it is a huge amount of people's favorite films of all time. So the film also equally means a huge amount to me. So like, I'm not surprised that when Ridley felt that there was another part of the story to tell, that it took time for him to build that.
Yeah, of course, and your character was amazing. You nailed it. And we need to talk about the scene where Hanno is fighting for the first time, and he looks into the eyes of the monkey's eyes.
Yeah.
And he puts like in the same level. So, how do you face fears, or how that character faced fears in the movie?
Well, he's kind of lost everything at that point. Like, he's lost his wife and he's lost his friend. So at that point, he's as much of an animal as the baboons that he's facing. He has no fear of death, and I think that's what makes him a very frightening opponent. Yeah. Him to the monkey. I don't think, he doesn't care what's in front of him at that point. He's like, I'm gonna go down swinging if I'm gonna go down.
You have something in you. Rage. Never let it go. It will carry you to greatness.
Oh my God, I think it's, first of all, like a sort of a confluence of a lot of different things that happened on that film, where people were feeling a lot of, different things. First, it was the return of the big epic, sandal epic, but with that special gloss that, that Ridley puts on his films that makes it feel like a very special place, very textured, it's a very visceral feeling, the way it feels to watch where we are. And then there are both love and family, but also, ideas about who we want to be as societies, how we want to live.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I think also your character has grown a lot. So how do you think Lucila has matured in a way?
I think she has had so much suffering. She's lost her son. She has been held hostage to the various rulers since the beginning of, or since the end of last film. And there's one thing that has kept her happy and alive, and that is the love of General Acacius. And she has very clear ideas still, like she did back in the first one, about who she is and what she wants to fight for, and that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, and I also think she's really brave, because all the sacrifices she made for the people she loved, I think that's incredible. And now I don't know if it's a deep question, but what would you say, or what would Lucila say to Maximus after doing this movie?
She would say thank you for your spirit and for your love back in the day.
I think he would ask for guidance. That's what he would ask for his advice on how to lead and for guidance in general.
I own you now. But whose head could I give you to satisfy your fury?
The general will do. Rome has taken everything from me. But I will have my vengeance.
I really love the movie. Your character is amazing. But I want to talk first about the first movie. You were 1 year old when it just came out. So did you know the story? Do you remember watching the film?
Well, I watch it all the time, not on the big screen, but on television. It's one of those movies that I watched over and over and over again. Every time it was on TV, even if it was 20 minutes, 30 minutes in, I would always watch to the end, no matter what. And I think it's one of the first movies where I talked back to it. You know, I like learned the lines and was saying them in conjunction with what was happening on the screen. And then some of Ridley's other films I saw on big screens, you know, for the first time when they would bring them back. I remember seeing Alien on a huge screen for the first time, and it just game changer.
Did you ever imagine that you would be in the sequel?
I feel certain there are dreams that are beyond dreams, you know, where you want to make films, but you don't. It's hard to imagine that you could dream up, working with such a great.
There is plenty of pain waiting for you in the next life. I don't know why you are so greedy for it in this one.
Your Majesties.
This is your gladiator.
It is.
How it feels like to hold that power in your hands, you know, like an emperor, and like being like the chief of the, I don't know, of the whole Rome, I think.
I found it surprisingly frightening.
Wow.
I'll say. I've never had that. I've never even performed that much power before. But I will say, just because the character's in power, it was interesting. It didn't mean that he felt powerful.
I have the trust of the Emperor. It will clear my path to the throne. You will be my instrument.
I will never be your instrument in this life or the next.
Your career as an actor is unique. You're one of the greatest. You've been the hero, the villain. So how different it is this movie from the previous ones you've done?
I've been blessed to work with some of the finest filmmakers. Tony Scott, Ridley's brother, 5 times. Spike Lee 5 times. Antoine Fuqua, I'm not sure how many times. Ridley now for the second time. So I'm fortunate, and I've been blessed to work with really grand masters at their craft, and Ridley is a master at his craft.
Just take your father's strength. His name was Maximus, and I see him in you.
As the movie continues, we learn details about Magnus' life. He's a very determined person. You think he identifies at some point with Hannah's life? Does he reflect on him?
He's a person who will use anyone to get what he wants. He's not interested in that kid's life. He's interested in using that kid to get what he wants. What he wants is ultimate power, and he'll use any man, woman, or child to get what he wants. He sold his soul. He has no soul. He has no faith. And he has no fear. That's dangerous.
And now my next question,
yes,
it has to do with that.
Okay.
How much is a human life worth? Is there a price?
My last name is Washington. You know why? Because my great-great-grandfather was a slave. My great-great-grandfather was a slave. My grandfather was born in 1864, the son of a slave. My father is the son of a slave. So that's a part of who I am. I can relate. I can't obviously understand the pain, the death, the destruction that it did to my family and my family's families going back generations to Africa. It was evil what they did to us. It was pure evil what they did to us. It's evil what he does to others because it was done to him. If we don't learn from our mistakes, we'll repeat them.
Fighters won't survive.
You must help him.
Strength among us! I don't fight for power. I fight the free road for men like them.
Yeah, and I think he's a character full of emotions, so rage is one of them.
Yeah.
You think that motivates him or like impulses him to keep going?
Well, rage is a symptom of the hurt that he feels. Like rage, he doesn't wake up in the film and just go and feel rage. He feels rage because of what's happened. So he's lost his wife, as I said, and he feels like Rome is the cause of that. His mother is at the center of that. So rage to me is less interesting if it's just rage, and I think it's more interesting if it's motivated by an emotional vulnerability.
For you, what was this experience after filming this second part?
It was the biggest thing that I've ever shot, and it was across a year because of the strike, so I spent a lot of time with these wonderful people, and they mean a lot to me, and the film means a lot to me. And I'm really proud of the fact that this is my first step into a different part of the industry in terms of a much bigger film. And yeah, I'm proud of the people that I worked with and the film in general.
You were amazing. I hope to see you in an Oscar nomination. Hopefully.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah.
Your name will be forgotten! To restore order, I must have power.
Everything is forgotten in time. Empires fall. So do emperors.
This is war! Real war!
The odds are against you.
The odds are always against me.